For years, I thought I had studying figured out. Hours of reading, rewriting notes, and cramming, and managed to get amazing grades. See, even so, I was frustrated and overwhelmed. I realized I was doing it all wrong. Let me explain. That's when I discovered a method to study smarter, not harder. It transformed the way I learned, cut my study time in half, and made everything stick better. Here's exactly how you can do it too. Step 1. Target setting. Studying without a plan is a recipe for wasted time. I used to sit down with no clear direction, hoping something would click. But the truth is, your brain needs specific goals to focus on. I started by defining what I wanted to achieve in each study session. Was it mastering a formula, memorizing key dates, or solving 5 practice questions? Once I had a clear target, my study sessions became purposeful and efficient. Preparation was another game changer. Before I even began, I gathered all my resources, textbooks, notes, flashcards, and practice tests. This stopped me from getting up repeatedly to find something, which always led to distractions. Having everything ready meant I could dive straight into focused studying without interruptions. Step 2. Strategic prioritization. Next, I realized not all topics are created equal. Early on, I'd try to learn everything, thinking every detail was important. It's not. Exams don't test you on everything. They test key concepts. I prioritized by reviewing past papers, identifying common patterns, and asking teachers about frequently tested topics. This shift from covering everything to focusing on high-impact material saved me time and boosted my results. Step 3. Active recall mastery. Passive studying was another trap I fell into. Simply reading or highlighting felt productive, but did nothing to push the material into my long-term memory. What worked instead was active recall, forcing myself to retrieve information without looking at my notes. I quizzed myself, created flashcards, and explained concepts out loud. Teaching someone else, or even pretending to teach, was especially powerful. It forced me to truly understand the material. At first, active recall was tough and frustrating. I'd struggle to remember answers or articulate concepts clearly, but that struggle was the key. It's where real learning happens. If you're too comfortable during your study sessions, you're not challenging yourself enough. The brain grows by grappling with difficult material, not by passively absorbing information. Step 4. Reflect and adjust. Studying effectively isn't just about the methods you use. It's about reflecting on your progress. After each session, I took 5 minutes to evaluate what worked and what didn't. Were there topics I still didn't understand? Did a specific technique help me grasp something faster? Reflecting like this stopped me from repeating mistakes and made my next sessions more productive. Even when I thought I'd nailed my study routine, I hit plateaus. The strategies that worked before suddenly felt less effective as the material got harder. Initially, I panicked, thinking I'd reach my limit, but plateaus are normal. They're a sign that it's time to evolve your approach. I experimented with new techniques, like mind mapping for complex subjects, and joined study groups to discuss challenging topics. The key is to adapt when your current methods stop being effective. Step 5. Environment optimization. Another important change was my study environment. I used to study with my phone nearby, and distractions would constantly derail me. I started creating a dedicated, clutter-free workspace and used the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focused work, followed by a 5-minute break. This kept me energized and prevented burnout. Step 6. Spaced repetition reinforcement. I also learned that reviewing is just as important as learning. I spaced out my revisions over days and weeks, following a technique called spaced repetition. Instead of cramming everything the night before, I revisited material at regular intervals. This helped reinforce what I'd learned and prevented me from forgetting it. Over time, I built a system that worked consistently, my grades improved dramatically, and I finally felt in control of my studies. But it wasn't just the techniques that made the difference, it was the persistence. There were times when I felt like giving up, especially when I didn't see immediate results. But instead of quitting, I reflected, adjusted my methods, and kept going. The biggest lesson I've learned is that studying isn't about putting in endless hours. It's about making those hours count. Focus on quality over quantity. Plan your sessions, prioritize what matters, actively engage with the material, reflect on your progress, and adapt when needed. This isn't a quick fix, but if you stay consistent, the results will speak for themselves. Now it's your turn. Apply these principles to your studies and watch how they transform the way you learn. It's not about being the smartest, it's about working the smartest. You can do this.